What can you expect of the organization that embraces this model?
I think the sort of the more typical things that you see were definitely about engagement, retention, the kind of classic things that you'd see in an organization that's got good coaching. I think the bits that if I look at the teams that I've been fortunate enough to be a part of, what have differentiated them, I think for me, for sure, they've been some of the most successful in terms of the other kind of commercial metrics, whether it be sales or profitability or revenue. But probably the two most in our world that I think differentiate us is the kind of client kind of feedback and client engagement kind of feedback we get from teams that are highly effectively coached is typically they're getting sole source work, they're differentiated in the marketplace. And I think the other thing that for me is probably kind of more important is that they have the ability to experiment and innovate and feel comfortable doing that versus continuing to do the same thing again and again. And so definitely, if I look at the teams, in an environment where our ability to come up with creative, new, innovative service or products is critical, I think coaching effectiveness it's got to be right up there in the top three things that you need to be doing, better than anyone else to succeed.
Well, all research shows that proper coaching brings up to 300% return on investment with respect to engagement and performance and cultural transformation, bringing innovation, etc. Everything that you're talking about. So there is research. There is a direct correlation with that. So in the world that we live in, where attracting the good talent is becoming more and more of a challenge, I think this is a distinguishing.
I agree, and I think that's probably another thing. If I contrast, although I learned many of my early techniques, the Rule of 16, all these things in my days in industry, when I was involved in leading teams that went from kind of union worker all the way through to kind of senior executive. And coaching is equally important in that environment. The real joy in a professional services environment is you're coaching high performing people, highly driven, and actually, that to me, that was one of the reasons probably why I moved and have stayed as long as I have in the consulting environment, is your ability to coach for performance and unlock capability and potential is so high, and it's super rewarding. You see people go on to do things that they never thought they were able to do, and that to me is still probably the highest. If I go all the way back to the kind of conversation of what started in being a twin and seeing someone that has got exactly your DNA do better than you do and be really happy about it is something that has always that's stayed with me. And so we're in a very privileged position in our organisation to have the talent we do to coach.
Brilliant. It looks like this is a natural end of our conversation, so I want to thank you so much for giving us your time and sharing your wisdom with the viewers of our little podcast. So thank you.
My pleasure.